Make sure you speak loud enough.
Yeah. Yes, Turkey, you're there. I know. You're just gonna be a butthead, aren't you?
Where are you?
Samson, that's your sister's bone. Puppies are teething, so they got some bones to chew. Mabel has vanished. She got one too. There she is. There's the Mabel. Mabel gets that big bone. Guys, you each have your own bone. That ought to keep them occupied for a while. Delilah's on the chain. It's a good learning experience for her, but because she's a pain in the butt for the guys working on the barn. Where'd Mabel go? She just...
She's under the deck.
Under the deck? Oh. She took her bone and vanished. Look at my beautiful puppies. Hi, Samson. Yumma, 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 yumma.
Oh, there's Mabel over to the septic tank.
Yeah, hopefully that keeps them occupied for a while with their chewing. I'm not showing off how beautiful you guys are, though. Kind of an awkward, hunchy position. But you're growing well. I actually haven't checked their teeth lately. They might have a few adult ones in there by now. Happy dogs! Samson very much wants my attention. Don't you, Samson? Down! You gotta sit for loves. You gotta sit for loves. Good boy. Good boy. Now this is what I want to show you. Look at that. We got some siding. Siding needed to go on before the the roof, particularly for the peak here. Because there's a potential for the siding pieces to be taller than the roof pieces. You can see there's a bit of a stepped pattern there. So just wanted that on before we got the roof on. We got one door there. Second one's being framed in now. Got a door framed in there. Yeah, it's coming together. Starting to look like a barn. So I've got my babies in coats today. I tried to put the coats on last night because it was minus 24-ish last night. But apparently they still had some smells on them. I hadn't washed them first. And Mama here had a major freak out. She's like, my baby, where'd my baby go? Who stole my baby? And even though he was trying to nurse off her, she didn't recognize him and headbutted him away. I started with the purple coat on the girl and the blue coat on the boy. Well, the girl got out of that coat too fast. Blue one does up a bit tighter. So I had to bring the coats in and wash them last night. Put them back on this morning. We'll see if the girl keeps her coat on. She's ditched 2 so far. We'll see if this one stays. And I'll keep an eye on if the mamas accept them. But, yeah. When I went and did evening chores last night, the kids were lying on the heat mat there shivering a bit. So I think they'll appreciate the sweaters. If they can keep them on and if Mama doesn't freak out. She seems to be pretty calm so far, but whether she'll let him nurse is a different story. We'll keep a careful eye. The reason I found everything out is my handy dandy spy cam. Watching them. We knew she was screaming, didn't quite know why until I watched and found out. So yeah, I'm going to keep the coats on all day today and overnight. It's supposed to get tree exploding cold overnight. Cold enough that trees pop like shotguns and potentially explode, so we'll keep the coats on the babies. So I've had to fix the coats a few times. But for the most part, we done good through this cold spell. We're not quite done it yet, but the worst of it's past. I see them shivering now. I don't know why, but in the night, it was minus 30 out. I had to come out here at 4:45 in the morning. That light was out, and I couldn't see the babies. They weren't on the heat mat, and his coat was off. So I come out here and I find both mamas, one there against the wall and one beside her, laying down. And he was laying like on top of and between them, staying toasty. And she was separate in the corner. I'm not sure why. But yeah, we've gotten through the worst of the cold. Yes, I know their feeder's empty. I had thrown a bunch down over there earlier because they like it better than the feeder. I will top up both while I'm doing chores here. They're getting their numbers with their salt, their minerals, their kelp powder and all that. I redo their water. I've got their water sitting on the heat mat now. I wanted to put it in the corner, but then I was afraid if the kids jumped over from the other side, they could maybe jump in it. These guys are now officially 3 weeks old, so they're in good enough condition that I'm not too worried about them being in the water. And now my naked hand is frozen, and I'm losing feeling in my fingers. So before I drop my camera, this is it. So we lost the chicken last night, and as best we can figure, it was its own dumb fault. Because if a chicken's got by a predator, there's going to be a feather or 2 left where it dies. Its feathers are going to be disturbed. And the chicken, when we saw it, its feathers were all in perfect, pristine condition. It had flattened out. Anyone who knows when a livestock dies and it lays there, it flattens in the position it's in. And when I went to check the goats at before 5 in the morning. Mabel and Delilah were in here, just hanging out right over here, sleeping. My guess is they were on the death watch, just guarding the body. The reason I say it's its own stupid fault, there's a shelter that I bedded up really nice. Everyone was in there. It was toasty. There's a shelter. There's a shelter. There's a shelter. Underneath and above, shelter. And if you really want to hook into it, there's another shelter they have access to. Many places it could have gone to get out of the weather, but it chose to hang out here somewhere and die. Now, by the time I saw the bird, it was headless, and the dogs had claimed it. But like I said, when I saw it, I checked its feather condition. They were pristine. There were no disturbed feathers whatsoever. It was fine and healthy. Showed no signs of being in a scuffle or a fight, aside from being headless. But that meant Mabel had a chicken dinner today. She claimed it. She wasn't giving it up for anything. Actually, I'm going to take you back over this way, show you something cool. So often, our turkeys will roost right up here on those boards. And I can tell that one did that. And jumped off, landed here, did a few hops, skips, and jumps. Did a couple big plants there. See all the wing feathers in the snow? It's not unusual when the birds are resting up there to jump and fly over here to come get their food and water. So yeah, that's how our farm got through the cold, record-breaking cold in some places. Not so much here, but it's the coldest that we've had it here since we moved here. Everybody was bedded up nice. Let's see if we can see the goats. Yeah, there they are. Everyone's settled in for the night now. I fed these guys in their hut because they seem to want to stay there. It's cold on their feet to come out. It is. I made a little path of hay, but it wasn't quite enough. It's just cold on their footsies. They want to stay in there. When they want to drink, they'll come out here and drink. But it's much more comfy in there. So I thought I'd accommodate and feed them in there. And everybody, the whole flock's in there other than Mr. Turk here. There was a couple scuffles with the dogs, fighting over the chicken. But another indicator that the dogs hadn't got the chicken. They're white dogs. There wasn't a speck of blood on them anywhere, on their faces or anywhere else. So based on the evidence we were presented, the chicken put itself to bed out in the open, exposed to the elements, and did not make it in the -30 weather we had last night.